yesterday and the day before when the news came out that he had self-reported his symptoms. Tua did to the doctors. We spoke about this on Speak, and LaShawn McCoy was the first to go there. And I don't think it's a crazy notion that Tua should consider possibly retiring. Now, I don't think that he should play again this season. And again, none of us are doctors, even if you got your online degree over the last 2 years. We're not medical doctors. We're not neuroscientists. We're not Tua's doctor, and we are not Tua's family. But I'll speak for myself. If this was my brother, one of my brothers, one of my nephews, someone that I know that plays football, and Tua, who I don't know personally, I don't think that you should consider coming back this year at the very least. This is not a hip injury, which Tua's had. This is not multiple knee injuries or toe injuries or an elbow. You can get those things replaced. You can live without toes. You only get one head. And I think it's very convenient for all of us to sit here and talk about player safety and get outraged when we see Tua get carted off the field. And I'm not saying that you weren't genuinely outraged or that you didn't feel awful for him, seeing him in that space, because I'm sure you did. But now's the time to put up. Now's the time to really back up all of those things that we're posting on social media and that we say that make us feel good that we're backing the players up. Maybe he doesn't need to retire. Maybe he just needs to sit out for the rest of the year. And that's obviously unfortunate for Dolphins fans and whatever. This is a human being who only gets one brain and one life. And your quality of life can be damaged from all those other injuries that I mentioned. Did you watch the interview with Deion Sanders and Shannon Sharp? Did you see what was going on with his leg and his foot? That's his quality of life from playing football. And he can still coach. He can still live his life because he has his brain in a healthy space. Now, the rest of his body's banged up, and that hurts his quality of life. But he's still Deion Sanders. This is a very serious situation. When we talk about Tua, we say, okay, he's had 3 head injuries in a year. It's not been a year. It's been a 3-month span. It's not even been an entire NFL season. The season's not even over. And he has missed parts of 3 games due to head injuries and has had 2 confirmed concussions. I don't think it's an outrageous thing to suggest. And I don't think it's an outrageous thing to suggest for any player that's dealing with this. It's not what I want. I'm devastated for him. I can't imagine my career, something that happens to me that's completely out of my control, and people coming to me and saying, you can't do what you've worked for your entire life. You can't keep doing what you dream of doing every single day for something that's completely out of your control. But Mike McDaniel just said it. We can't encourage him or ask him or say anything to him. Just get better. That's what this is right now. So I think it's very convenient when we talk about player safety, when we talk about protecting players, when we talk about being pro player and defending them and sticking up for them. And then when something like this is suggested, it's like, whoa, what's this? Now, hold on a second. We still want to watch football here. You can't regulate the brutality and the collisions and head impact out of football. That is the game. You can't expect every time someone's head is hit for them to pull a player out of a game. That's unrealistic. And what's scary is Tua has been in games with a concussion after everything that happened this year, earlier this year, the outrage, the firing, him going into the protocol, him being carted off the field, and they still can't tell. This is terrifying. It's genuinely scary. None of us want to even imagine the worst that this could, the scale that this could get on the bad end. So why don't we be safe rather than sorry? Obviously, he's out this weekend. I don't know how he sees the field again this year. I don't know how you justify that. I don't know how you sign off on that. It certainly makes me uncomfortable. And I don't care if I'm being like a little snowflake about it. This is a serious thing.
I think you need to make, as a team and as a league, an executive decision at this point, especially since the world saw it. The world saw his last 3 head injuries. We've been talking about it. It's been top news. The positive side is he reported it. He went to the team and he told them that he was having concussion-like symptoms and put him in that protocol. That's the positive. But now you look at it, as you mentioned, 3 months. It's not a year. Whatever the exact other two, we know there was for sure one concussion, the other two head injuries, whatever they may be.
No, this is his second confirmed concussion.
There you go.
If you want to argue about the other head injury, have at it. So he's had 2 concussions in 3 months.
This is bigger than the game. This is his life you're talking about. This is your brain, your head, and it's scary. Of course, someone who's worked their entire life to get to this moment and to be playing at the highest level and accomplishing your dream, they're going to want to be on the field. If you say and you give them an inch, yes, okay, I got cleared, I'm going to go. I think there should be an executive decision made to sit him for the rest of the year.
Well, I mean, he's certainly not going to play this weekend, obviously, with the concussion. And I would imagine he doesn't play for the rest of the regular season. And obviously, the Dolphins still have to clinch a playoff spot. So that will determine if he's going to come back for the playoffs, if they even make the playoffs. But I think it's a bigger conversation that needs to be had about it. And, you know, obviously, he has a family. And I'm with you. I'm glad he self-reported it, so that he's taking, you know, his health seriously as well. But, you know, I think it's very easy for us to talk about player safety. And then when it really comes, when the rubber meets the road, where do you stand? Because I thought this would be a consensus conversation, and there's still pushback. Let's get to Alex Curry with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Well, the Eagles need to win one of their next 2 games to secure the NFC East title. And after Jalen Hurts sat out last week's 40-34 loss to the Cowboys, many are wondering if he'll return to action in the regular season. Now, Nick Sirianni isn't ruling out a return Sunday against the Saints, and here's what he had to say.
We'll see one day at a time here. He, you know, how much he wanted to play the other last week. And how much he did to get his body ready. And again, with Jalen, it's just his body heals different than yours and mine, Josh, right? He's going to do everything that he can do to get himself healthy. And if he's healthy, he'll play.
Now, the positive thing here for the Eagles is we saw that they can play a great game without Jalen Hurts. Yes, Gardner Minshew needs to limit the turnovers that happen in that game.
I don't like the word great. I hate to pick at it, but I just don't like the word great. They can hang.
The team can hang. Yes, they need Jalen Hurts to be great.
Yes.
But they can accomplish a goal of playing a strong game. Let's change it to great to strong game. They can play a strong game without him. I'm in a situation here where I'm like, if you can give Jalen an extra week or 2 to rest his shoulder and be that much better for the postseason in the playoffs, isn't that what you want to do? Isn't that the most important focus you're already in the playoffs. Yes, obviously you want that top seed, but you're already in. Rest him.
Oh, I'm with you.
Rest him.
I mean, that's why I'm so confused to the reaction to the Cowboys game and why I pushed back on saying they played great. Like, the Cowboys played a great game.
Yeah.
They played a great game. They played a great game.
Could have been better.
Played a great game.
Could have been better.
You forced 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
You played a great game.
Yeah.
You lost, Eagles. Like, and you turned the ball over 4 times. Whether the Cowboys force you to turn it over or not, we know Jalen Hurts doesn't turn the ball over. No. Don't get caught up in that Chicago Bears game. That's an outlier. So you need Jalen Hurts. To me, I don't. Obviously, having home field advantage in a bye is huge. It is. But what's bigger, what's huger, to me, is Jalen Hurts being healthy. So I don't. To me, I would make sure he's as close to 100%.
Yep.
Your goals are not to win the division.
Yeah.
Your goals are, if you want the number 1 seed because of the bye, of course. But if you're not going to get that, as many home games as you can, your goal is to win a Super Bowl, and you're not going to do that without Jalen Hurts. And the Eagles have a lot of other injury problems as well. So, Jalen is the tip of the iceberg.
And they just need to win one of their last 2. So at least sit him this weekend, give him that extra week, and then maybe he can pick up that last win of the regular season and get that first place spot. All right, moving on. The Commanders enter Week 17 as the 7th seed in the NFC, but they'll be making a big change for Sunday. Ron Rivera announced that Taylor Heineke will remain benched after being pulled in last week's loss to the 49ers, and Carson Wentz will be brought back in the fold to start against the Browns. I don't know if I'm surprised about this move. When you look at both of Heineke and Wentz's stats this season, obviously Heineke has played more games, but it's not too far off, I guess. I mean, win-loss, Heineke's 5-3-1, Wentz is 2-4. Completion percentage is 62.2% for Heineke.